This one was a lot bigger than the one we'd seen the day before. And we also went to the world's only Szechuan Culinary Museum, which is really interesting. The rice liquor factory was more industrialized. Men actually had to wear shoes for the most part, and they had a more automated machinery for drying the grains as well as for transporting them to their fermentation sites, although they did still use the clay, dirt, and mud method of fermentation. After our visit at the factory, we drove about an hour to the Culinary Museum. The grounds were beautiful, and we were given both a tour of the grounds as well as the museum sites. In the museum itself, they had lots of exhibits with lots of old pottery and utensils. And these utensils are actually up to 2,000 to 3,000 years old. Many of them are the founders of modern cooking utensils and just cooking vessels today, not only in China but in the world. At the museum, they also had the statue of a culinary god. It's a god that is I guess it would be the equivalent of like a patron saint of cooking. And if you pray to him, as some of us did, he will ensure you to make good food and be successful in your cooking career for the rest of your life. Chef Chang showed us how to pray to him, and a few students chose to do that. The following morning, day 8, we awoke to a festival on our street celebrating the opening of a new store. After the celebration, we went to lunch where we were taught about Chinese traditional medicine and how it relates to yin and yang, or Taoism, and our food and how everything has to be in balance and everything you eat affects that. After lunch, we went to the shopping area known as Jinli Street. This street has been an area of commerce in China and in Chengdu for 2,000 years. It started out as a silk trade and has continued being an area for merchants all the way through Chengdu's history. After shopping at Chinley Street, we were taken to a tea house where a tea ceremony was performed for us. We had 3 different kinds of tea, 2 different jasmine and 1 green. And the whole ceremony was just very symbolic. Every gesture that the woman did was representative of something else. down to the number of times she poured the water was representative of like the three main strengths that you try to achieve in your life. Everything was done with purpose, and it was really beautiful to see. And that kind of attention to detail is never really done in the US when it comes to like ceremonies. It's a lot different in China when it comes to ceremony. On day 9, the following day, we were all really excited because it was Panda Day. We were taken to the Sichuan Panda Breeding Center, where they have the highest success rate for breeding pandas. Sichuan province also is the world's has the highest panda population in the world. 80% of the pandas that still live today live in Sichuan. But the grounds at the reservation were beautiful. You're walking through like these tunnels of bamboo, and the pandas are right there in these open pens, just sitting there eating bamboo, because that's about all they do besides sleep. And they are about as cuddly looking as you would expect. Half the people thought they looked fake, but they're absolutely adorable. Everybody had a really good time, and a couple students even paid to get a picture taken with a full-size bear, and some paid extra to get their photo taken with some baby pandas. One thing we also learned while at the reservation is there's more than one kind of panda. There's also such a thing as a red panda, and they look like a cross between a fox and a raccoon, and they're absolutely adorable. We also got to hold those as well. After our arrival in Yibing, when we were there, we went and saw another rice liquor factory, which took up probably a third of the city. The place was enormous, and we actually had to take our bus to drive around to different parts of it, as well as go up these huge stairs just to see the entirety of the factory